My name is Mary, and I'm a 50-year-old employee. A month ago, I was transferred to a new workplace, which quickly turned into a nightmare. On my very first day, I was greeted with harsh words from a female manager named Kate, who even slapped me on the cheek. Overwhelmed by her outrageous behavior, I felt my anger boil over. I decided then and there, without hesitation, that I would fight back. I work at the headquarters of my company, which has always been considered a prestigious place to be. My husband John works at a different company and is incredibly kind. Though we don't have children, we have a strong marriage and love planning trips together. Life seemed good until the day I was asked to transfer to one of the subsidiaries. My boss wanted me to assess their low performance and help improve things. I willingly accepted, not realizing the challenge ahead. The first day at the subsidiary, I introduced myself to the team at the morning meeting. Most of them smiled back, and it seemed like a good start. But then I noticed Kate. She was about 60 years old and had been a manager for around a year. With her high-end suits and famous brand necklaces, she looked at me with disdain. She mocked me loudly, making the previously friendly atmosphere tense and awkward. No one challenged her behavior, and I quickly realized why. Kate seemed to hold significant power, and there was no senior person to put her in check. She would harshly scold her subordinates for the smallest mistakes, yelling things like, "How can you not do such a simple task?" It was more than just guidance. It was verbal abuse. She dumped tedious tasks on her subordinates, forcing them to work late while she claimed to be busy with managerial duties. Kate's tyranny was relentless. Every day, I watched as she belittled her team, piling on more work and never giving any credit. She would take advantage of her position, making the employees work overtime while she took breaks and pretended to be busy. I knew I had to do something, but it was difficult. The fear in the eyes of my colleagues was palpable, and they all knew challenging Kate could mean losing their jobs. One day, I had enough. I confronted her, telling her she was too harsh, but she brushed me off, telling me to shut up and reminding me that I was her subordinate. It was clear Kate had no intention of changing. Instead, she started targeting me even more, calling me tech illiterate and piling on unreasonable deadlines. I managed to complete my work despite her constant belittling. But Kate wasn't satisfied. She kept assigning more tasks with impossible deadlines. When I asked her to reconsider, she mocked me, saying, "This is the problem with incompetent middle-aged women." She even made personal jabs about my savings and hobbies, which had nothing to do with my work. I refused to let her break me. I spent long nights working, determined to meet her demands, even when they were unreasonable. But every time I met a deadline, she would come up with something else, always with a sneer, always with the intent to humiliate me in front of everyone. It all led to today. During the regular morning meeting, I announced that I had something important to discuss. Kate, clearly irritated, walked over and slapped me, sneering, "Part-timers don't have the right to speak." That was it. I decided I would not take it anymore. I corrected her. "I'm not a part-timer. I'm a full-time employee from the headquarters." Kate's expression froze. She hurried to her desk, rummaging through her papers, and realized I was telling the truth. She had never bothered to learn who I was, and now she was panicking. As the regular meeting began, I made an announcement. It has been decided that Kate will be terminated due to her harassment of subordinates. Kate seemed unfazed, probably relying on her connections, but I had more to say. Mike, the board member Kate is close to, has been found embezzling and will be dismissed. The police have been notified. Kate's face turned white. Still, she tried to argue, demanding evidence. I pulled out a voice recorder. "I have recorded everything. Your abusive words, your negligence. The headquarters knows everything." Kate finally seemed to understand that she had no way out, but I wasn't finished. "You've also been neglecting your work. Our investigation showed you played games during work hours, pretended to go out for meetings, and lied about client communication. You even napped on park benches." The other employees stared at her coldly. Kate, still in shock, tried to argue that following her was illegal. I calmly explained, this was an investigation into employee negligence, not a crime. One of the employees, who was usually quiet, spoke up. "Just apologize already. How can you not apologize after all this? Others joined in, demanding an apology. Reluctantly, Kate stood up and apologized, but no one felt sympathy for her. Eventually, she broke down in tears, but everyone knew she was responsible for her own actions. Kate was subsequently fired. Life moved on at the subsidiary, and I was appointed as a manager. I worked hard to abolish unnecessary rules and set up meaningful ones to make work more efficient. I listened to my subordinates and made sure to lead by example. The workplace atmosphere brightened, and there were fewer tired faces. It wasn't easy at first. Many of the employees were still wary, still afraid that someone like Kate could come in and make their lives miserable again. I made it my mission to earn their trust. I implemented new processes that allowed for flexibility and fairness. I created a culture of open communication, where everyone felt their voices mattered. Over time, the team began to change. People started smiling more, and the sense of dread that had hung over the office seemed to lift. Productivity improved, and with it, the overall morale of the subsidiary. It was a transformation that I was proud to be a part of. At home, John and I continued to enjoy our time together. We recently stayed at a beautiful beach resort, where I got to relax after everything that had happened. It had been tough dealing with someone like Kate, but I was glad it all worked out in the end. Now, I look forward to continuing to have fulfilling days, both at work and in my personal life. One evening, after a particularly good day at work, John and I sat together on our porch, watching the sunset. "You've been through so much," John said, his hand gently holding mine. "I'm proud of you for standing up for yourself and for others." I smiled, feeling a warmth that I hadn't felt in a long time. "It wasn't easy, but it was worth it," I replied. "No one should have to work in fear. And now, I think we've created a place where people can feel safe and appreciated." John nodded. "That's what makes you so amazing, Mary. You care about others, even when it's hard." I leaned against him, taking in the peaceful evening. For the first time in a long time, I felt truly at peace. I knew that there would always be challenges, but I also knew that I had the strength to face them. And with John by my side, I felt ready for whatever came next. Life continued, and I kept working hard at the subsidiary. I knew that creating a positive work environment wasn't something that happened overnight. It required constant effort, empathy, and the willingness to listen. But I was ready for it. My experiences with Kate had taught me not only about the kind of leader I didn't want to be, but also about the kind of person I wanted to become. As I walked through the office one day, I overheard two employees talking. "I actually enjoy coming to work now," one of them said. "It's so different from how it used to be. Mary really turned things around." Hearing that filled me with a sense of purpose. It reminded me why I had fought so hard, why I had endured Kate's abuse and stood up to her. It was for these people, for their well-being, and for the chance to create a space where everyone could thrive. And as I continued on my journey, I knew that the best was yet to come. Both in my career and in my life with John, I looked forward to each new day with hope and determination. The nightmare that had once seemed endless was now just a chapter in my story, a chapter that had made me stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. I was ready for whatever came next, and I knew that no matter what, I would face it head-on, just as I had with Kate. Because in the end, it wasn't just about surviving, it was about thriving and